So, welcome in everyone. I am Tiffany from Bubbles and Bloom Beauty Bar, and today I am here with Lena. And we are here to speak with you at our virtual summit, Beauty and Confidence Within, where we acknowledge your worth, step into your power, and radiate your own unique beauty from the inside out. So, I wanted to have Netta here on our show because, first of all, she is a TEDx speaker. She's a leadership and confidence coach, also a motivational speaker, and she is the founder and owner of her own business, Rise Up For You. And it's sort of like a gym membership for personal and professional development. And she has the skills to teach everyone how to step into their own leadership and confidence. So how are you doing today, Lena?
I'm wonderful.
I'm so sorry. How
That's
are
okay.
you?
I'm
How are you doing?
wonderful. Thank you guys for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, it's an honor to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if we can just introduce you a little bit to our audience, just wanted to ask, like, who are you and what do you do and how did you get into your work?
Yes, that's a big question, but I'll condense it.
Okay, please.
So again, my name is Lena and I'm the founder of Rise Up For You. So in short, what we do is we work with small, medium, and large companies to enhance their company culture, as well as individuals like yourself to get to that next step in their career, whether they're a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, or somebody that's just in the corporate world that's trying to figure out how to climb the career ladder. And we do this through soft skills and career skill strategy, which is very, very important. So, a lot of the time we spend our efforts on what I like to call the hard skills or technical skill, like getting the degrees, getting the certifications, but we forget about confidence. We forget about emotional intelligence. We forget about how to communicate, how to lead, motivation, all the things that really drive our success. And so we get the honor to do that around the world. We have clients all over the world. And we've been fortunate enough to work with companies like Google, LA Fitness, a number of nonprofits. So in short, that's what we do. And it's been a long journey. I started as a performer. That's the first career I ever had. And today I'm here as the founder.
Nice. So for those that don't know, and I know we spoke about this when we were on the phone, so can you just go into a little bit about soft skills and what they are, so we know what they are and how you help people accelerate their soft skills?
Thank you. So actually, soft skills makes up 75% of our success, and many people don't know that. So we always say that it's called EQ, okay? So we always say that your IQ is what gets you the job, or your IQ is what gets your foot in the door, right? And that's your technical skill. That's your craft or your vocational skill that you go to school for, right? Or you get a certificate in. But it's actually your soft skills, which are people, emotional, and communication skills that grow and build your success. So the way that I like to think about it or talk about it is everything that we need is on Google, okay? Everything that we need, all of the skills, building a company, growing in our career, it's all on Google. You can type in, how do I become a coach? What do I do to start as an entrepreneur? How do I build a startup? But that's not what makes people successful. It's the soft skills.
Right.
So only 5% of people are going to be able to take the information that they find on Google or the degree or the certificate they get and actually implement.
Right.
Because they have the confidence, they have the motivation, they have the emotional and people skills to make it happen. And that is why some people are more successful than others because they have both.
That's so key. That's so key. Yes, it's so true. You can learn, but implementation is the key to everything. So
implementation is the key, and having the confidence and the EQ, the emotional intelligence, communication, people skills to actually execute and make it happen.
Right. Yes, that too. Yes, having the confidence to know and navigate your business. So as an entrepreneur, I can definitely relate to that. So when you work with your clients, what kind of experiences do you want them to take away from their interactions with you?
Yeah, so everyone's a little bit different depending on what program they come into. So for example, if we're working with an individual, let's say we're doing like one-to-one coaching, we have leadership, confidence, and career coaching. Okay, so naturally, and everything is very results driven because we live in a world where we have to have results. This isn't, woo-hoo, where we're just going to come and motivate, because that's not sustainable. And so I always say that it's very important to feel empowered, but you have to have the strategy and the education to go with it. You got to have both. And so depending why a client comes to us, that's the result that they're going to get. So if they're coming to us to a leader, by the time they lead, their leadership skills and abilities has seen instrumental results up at least 100%. If they come to us for confidence, by the time they leave, they're more confident. If they come to us for career, by the time they leave, they've either landed a promotion, built their company, and started generating income, or they've climbed up the career ladder. So there's very specific outcomes for each type of coaching. And you're probably thinking, well, how do you measure confidence? How do you measure leadership? Well, we've built in-house assessments for every single program to measure our results so that we can see by the end, how has this individual grown?
Okay, awesome. That's great. So that they have like something to track their progress.
Something to track their progress, which is very important.
That is very, very important. So how do you portray confidence to your clients and your community?
That's a good question. Not feeling that I need to be perfect is the first thing.
Oh, great. Okay.
Right?
That's so human.
It's so human, but it's actually the opposite of confidence, right? When you can't own your mistakes and when you can't own your flaws, then it's the opposite, right? A confident person to me is being able to say, I messed that up. I messed that up. I didn't do it the right way. I take ownership, and now I'm going to learn and grow from it.
Yes.
Right. So confidence for me is a growth mindset. It's understanding that you're not a robot. Okay. You're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. You're not perfect, and not beating yourself up about it, because that's what we do as individuals, specifically women. Okay.
So true.
When we have a perfectionist mindset. Okay. Most of us. When we make a mistake, we have so much negative monkey chatter. I call it monkey chatter in our head, where we put ourselves down and we're like, oh, you're so stupid. And then we feel like we're not enough. And that cycle is not healthy, nor is it confident. So the best way that I can show confidence is by owning when I make a mistake, okay, doing things that are in alignment with me. So I live my life for me. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that my fiance and my family and my brothers and my community, that doesn't mean they don't matter to me. But at the core, my morals, my values, my foundation, it has to feel good in me.
Right.
And I won't compromise that. Okay. And the third thing is showing up. And this is very, very important because, and again, I'm going to talk with women because I've worked with women a lot. And I've done a lot of research on women in confidence. I have a book coming out in the middle of August. And specifically with women, we want the promotion. We want to get coaching clients. We want A, B, C, or D, but we're not showing up that way. Okay. We're not showing up with confidence. We're not putting ourselves together. We're not leading with full integrity, and we're not coming and stepping into the world at 1,000%. But we want all these things, but we're not willing to really put ourselves out there and take risks. And that has to happen.
So by taking risks, what do you mean? For example?
For example, speaking up in a meeting. Okay. For example, walking into your boss's office and say, I've been working here for 5 years. I'm the most qualified. Let's talk about how I can move up. Let's talk about a promotion, right? For example, having a vision in your mind or wanting to build a company or a startup or a passion project and not doing it yet. Okay. For example, wanting to bring in clientele, but not really doing all the work and using your full potential to get there. Okay. So like I said, we have a number of clients, and sometimes I talk on the phone with somebody and they're like, well, I want to see 5 figures every month. I'm like, great. How many people have you called? Well, do I have to call? Can I just send them an email? I'm like, well, there you go. If you're not willing to take the risk and do things that are uncomfortable, how do you expect to see these results?
That's so very, very, very true. Yes. You have to be uncomfortable and be willing to look dumb, or, you know what I mean? And be comfortable with that, because that uncomfortableness is how you grow.
It's the only way, right? Otherwise we're going to stay content. And if you take the risk and you go outside of your comfort zone, you will see results because you're going to find out what works and what doesn't work.
Yes, true. Thank you for that. So can you tell us what you feel your definition of empowerment is?
My definition of empowerment is self-empowerment. Okay, because empowerment is a big word, but it really comes down to the self. Okay, so like I can do this amazing interview with you, Tiffany, and somebody, or those of you that are watching, you're going to hear this and you're going to be like, yes, yeah, you're going to feel empowered, right? Yes, this feels so empowered. This feels great. But my question is tomorrow or 2 days, are you going to feel the same way? And that's where self-empowerment is so important, and it's different. Okay, because empowerment is an external thing, right? You feel empowered from other people. You feel empowered by energies. You feel empowered by results. But self-empowerment means that no matter what the outside circumstance is, no matter what's happening and what's falling around you, you always find your self-worth and you always feel empowered to move forward for you.
So that's beautiful, because I'm taking from that, like, we feel empowered from external sources. So can you give an example of how, like, today I feel empowered, but in 2 days I might not? So what are things that I might be able to do to spark that empowerment again, or how a way of thinking? What could I do?
Yeah. So the first thing is really setting yourself up for success every day. Okay, because there's so much happening in the world. There's a lot of consumption going on. Okay, a lot of consumption. So my thing is that self-empowerment, we need to be able to be in a positive energy, in a positive state, which means we need to cross out everything else that's going to take us away from that. So how many of us, for example, wake up in the morning and the first thing we do is grab our phone?
Yes, exactly.
Right? And we look at social media and we look at the news, and automatically it affects our energy and it affects our productivity. And then we lose empowerment, period. We lose the energy to like go out there and be our best, you know, especially if we have a comparison mindset, because you might see your friends doing incredible things on social media. And then you go into this whole whirlwind of like, oh, I'm not doing that. I wish I could. I wish I want to, right? So really getting rid of all those external, what I like to call the noise, get grounded with yourself. I love yoga. I love meditation, spending some time with yourself to be in alignment with yourself. Okay. People lose confidence when they make decisions that don't sit with them well. Okay. We lose confidence when we make promises to ourselves and we don't do it. We lose confidence when we put ourselves in a relationship that we know is not good for us. Okay. We lose confidence when we stay at a job that we know is toxic and is hurting and is stressing us out. We lose confidence, A, B, C, and D, because we do things that we know as a woman, like, man, it doesn't feel good to me and I don't want to do it. We lose confidence. So we really have to constantly talk with ourselves and say, what do I want? These are the 3 questions I ask every single client, every single person. What is it that you want? So I want you to think about this now. So everybody that's with me, okay? What do you want in your life? Okay. Now you can break this. You can micro it. It could be your career. Okay. It could be your romantic life. It can be in your health life. Okay. What do you want? What do you want? Why do you want it? And your why has to be very, very clear. If you want $1 million, I need you to tell me exactly why you want $1 million. Is it just to say that you're a millionaire and you have money in your account? What's the real reason why you want it? Okay. And how are you going to get there? What you want, why you want it, and how you're going to get there. And everything that doesn't fit into that shouldn't fit into that. You should not allow in. And that's really the first step, is getting clear on those 3 things.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Last night I was trying to get even clearer on my why, because some things have been popping up, and I have the same whys, but they're like getting deeper. So going back and reassessing all those makes me, it like increases my drive to do what I do. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Yes. So what is the most fulfilling part of what you do?
It's not about me. That's the most fulfilling part about what I do, is it's not about me. Like every single second of my day is in service of others, which in turn makes me feel amazing, right? But ultimately, it's not about me. It's about the individuals that we're serving. It's the companies that we're serving. It's the kids that we're serving. We have a nonprofit entity as well, where we do the same thing for kids. You know what I mean?
Okay. Which one? What is that called?
Rise Up For You Worldwide.
And then what are the ages that you serve?
5 to 18.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. Wonderful.
So like we have a whole team, they go in jails, they work with homeless shelters, and it's the same thing, being confident, you know, if you have an idea, how do you put it out there? And that's why I wake up every single morning. And that's what I love about the company is it says rise up for you, but that's because you have to start with you to give to others.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm fortunate enough that every day I do the inner work every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been that way. So I'm in a place where I can give to others. And that is such a crucial component to being here.
Yeah. So how does it make you feel when you're giving to others, when you're the one that is the source of their confidence and their empowerment? How does that make you feel?
So that's an interesting question. So like my philosophy is it's not really about how I feel, but it's about pulling the potential out of somebody. Because my whole philosophy is that I'm not different than anybody else. The only difference is that most individuals, they're too scared to tap into their potential.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to call myself the potential seeker. Okay, so my job really is to look at an individual or look at a company and say, you're much better than what you're putting out there. You're much better than how you're showing up, and you know you are. So let's uncover why you're not doing it, and then let's add the strategy to it so that you can use your potential. So for me, I get joy out of people getting results, because that means that whatever system, right, or whatever blueprint or whatever we're providing to them, it's helping them break those beliefs and rebuild the confidence and get their potential out there. So that's what it's about for me. You know, I go to bed at night and I think, wow, that person must be so proud of themselves because in 1 month they achieved these results. That goes to show that every single person has untapped potential. And imagine what you can be if you just if you open it up, if you tap into it.
Right, right. Great. So, personally for you, like, how do you push past fear and self-doubt and step into your own power?
So first off, fear and self-doubt never go away. So I want to make that really clear to everybody. Okay? I want to make that really clear to everybody, because there's a lot of hype out there that's like, no fear, no failure. That's not true. Okay, so everybody has self-doubt. The human brain has over 70,000 thoughts a day. 80% of them are negative. Okay, neuroscientists have done the research. 80% of our thoughts are negative. I don't care if you're Oprah, Tony Robbins, we all have it. Okay, what we need to learn how to do is understand that our thoughts, which is where the self-doubt and the fear and the failure come in, they're not ours. Okay, and what I mean by that is that you and your thoughts are two separate things. Okay, so just because I have a thought that comes in my head right now that says, Netta, you're not enough, that doesn't make it true. Okay, so the first thing we need to understand is that self-doubt's not going to go anywhere. I still have self-doubt, and I run my own company, and I'm a confidence coach. Okay? But what matters is that you're able to manage that thought and not let it cripple you. Okay, so I always say that it's okay to let fear come in the car. It's okay to let self-doubt come in the car, but don't let it drive the car. Okay, it can be the passenger. Yep, you're there, but you know what? I'm still taking the wheel and I'm moving forward. Yep, you're there, but you keep the seatbelt on and just keep quiet. And that's really what needs to happen is we just need to manage them. And the more we manage them, the more they go away because they lose power. Okay. So like now when I talk to myself all the time, people think I'm crazy and I don't care. Because if I have a thought that comes in my brain that's like, Netta, are you sure you can do this? That thought's not me. That's just the thought. And so now I have a conversation with the thought. Okay, thank you, but I'm not going to hear that right now, and I don't need that right now, so you go back into the corner, and then I keep driving forward. And the more you do that, the more those thoughts are just mundane. It's like, doesn't even matter. And that's what we have to get used to. I don't allow myself to be upset for more than 2 minutes. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to me.
So it's like, it's mostly inner work that we have to do on a daily basis, multiple times a day.
Of course. Now, of course, there's more traumatic situations, right? Like death, you know, heartbreak that's lasted for years. I mean, those are extreme situations, but most of us let smaller things get in the way. Most of us dwell and we have negative thoughts and we sit in sadness and anger over things that at the end of the day, does it really matter?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to be able to manage.
Right. Yeah, that's great to think about, because those thoughts are just in reality just so small. So we shouldn't let it take over.
And I always say that, like, there's three of you, okay? So for me, there's the Netta in the past, there's the Netta in the future, and then there's the Netta that's present.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Well, the past and the future are not real.
Mm-hmm.
They're not real.
Mm-hmm.
The past already happened,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And the future doesn't even exist. It didn't happen yet.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we spending our precious time and energy in two places that don't exist, opposed to just being in the present and using our energy to drive and to put our best foot forward?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it too, because then it prevents us from overthinking. And I think that's what a lot of women do, is just overthink things. So
Overthink things that haven't even happened yet,
mm-hmm.
or that might not even be true.
Yeah.
Right? They're
Sure.
like assumptions. We create stories. Women are
Yes.
very great at creating stories.
Yes, create the stories. Yes, that's so
Create the story, and then it takes energy away from us,
yes.
and then we can't do what we're meant to do in this world.
Mm-hmm. So how do you think challenges can contribute to confidence?
I always say use your pain as fuel for growth.
Mm-hmm.
Use your pain as fuel for growth. There's a lesson in everything.
That's very true.
You might not know what it is right now, especially if it's a painful lesson, right? But there is a lesson in everything that you do, right? 4 years ago, before this company even existed, I was an executive, make 6 figures, house on the lake, beautiful luxury car, living the best life. I was 27 years old.
Wow.
Okay. And within 2 weeks, everything collapsed. I got married. I moved to Canada. I resigned from my job, sold everything, and I went to Canada with 2 luggage. Within 2 weeks, my ex said that he didn't want to be married anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I got on a plane, and I was like, what just happened? I was crying. I was embarrassed. I didn't even tell my mom, because 2 weeks ago I was this top professional that was living her best life. And how does this professional, educated woman in 2 weeks make a decision like that and lose everything, right? That's what goes on in our head. And I realized on the plane, I was like, there's got to be a reason for this. I might not understand it right now, but there's got to be a reason why this is happening. Okay. 2 weeks later, after I got back to California, I built Rise Up For You. I built Rise Up For You because of that.
Wow. Okay. Did you already have this thought in your mind that this is what you wanted to do?
No, I was an executive. I had no idea about like the entrepreneur world, about opening a business. No idea. But didn't have an influence circle. Like, we were a circle full of executives and professors and and performers, because I was a performer first. And I just remember being on the plane, and I kept hearing Rise Up For You, Rise Up For You, Rise Up For You. My dad kept coming to me, because I had lost my dad a couple years before that. And he kept saying, like, everything you need is already inside of you. You just have to rise up for you. Right?
So is that like a song or a saying he used to say, or that's what you just heard him saying?
No, that's just what I heard him say, because in that moment, what I heard him say was, you have everything you need. Yeah. No one's going to knock on the door and give it to you. No one's going to knock on the door and be like, here's your job back. Right. Here's your house back. Here's your car back. So like, you have to do it for you. So the second I got back, I started like researching, and then 2 weeks later, Rise Up For You website was up and running, started building a podcast. But here's the most important thing, okay? 3 months after that, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. Oh, no. And I took care of her for 10 months until she passed. Now, I might not have known when I came back from the divorce, I didn't know that was going to happen. Right. But if I was still in Canada, guess what?
Yep.
I wouldn't have been there with her.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happened for a reason. Yeah. And even though it was such a big loss for me, I was honored to spend the 10 months with my mother and be by her side and help her through the process.
Yes. And that's like how you're saying, there's lessons to be learned. We don't know it yet, but eventually we will come.
Just trust. Yes. Sometimes you just have to trust God or the universe or whatever you believe in, you just have to trust and know that it'll happen. The
Yes.
message will come back to you.
Yes, very true. So in short, like what steps can people take to feel more confident, say in their everyday life?
So the first thing is really just about the clarity, as I mentioned, and understanding what you want in your life. So when I first came back and I started building Rise Up For You, one of the core things that I built, I asked myself this question: what does it mean to live a life that you're proud of?
Mm.
Okay. If you want to build your confidence, we have to start there. What
Mm.
does it mean to live a life that I'm proud of? And now what are the steps that I can take to do that, to help me be more confident and to feel good about my life? Because remember, when we're not confident, there's a resistance there. That means that we're doing something or we're not doing something that we should be doing, and then we lose confidence in ourselves.
Yes.
Okay, so I asked this question: what does it mean to build a life that you are proud of? Is it just career? Is it just that you're making money? What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing a ton of research. I toured around the world. I went to the happiest countries in the world.
Mm.
And it was the Scandinavian region, which is Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, that whole area. And I realized that there's actually 6 pillars that contribute to our confidence and our success.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll do this exercise together, but I have an entire free gift for everyone to
Okay,
have.
perfect.
Take
Yes.
it.
Thank
It's
you.
a workbook that you can do.
Okay.
So there's 6 pillars in your life that really affect you. If one is down, everything's down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the first and the most important one is self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
What are the thoughts that you have? Okay. Do you believe in yourself? Do you think that you're enough? Okay. The second is your career. So do you wake up in the morning? Are you excited to go to work? Okay. Do you feel like you have meaning in the work that you do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy with the work that you're doing? Okay. The third is romance. Now, romance is important because it actually pulls out different chemicals and different energy from us, right? It's not the same as friends and professional network.
Mm-hmm.
So what does your romantic life look like? Are you happy with your spouse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you getting into the same type of relationship over and over and over again that's taking you back instead of pulling you forward?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The fourth is health and fitness. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. Okay. So don't spend your whole entire life building wealth, and then when you retire, you use all your money on health, right? Because you are stressed, you're ill.
Yes.
The fifth is money, right? So financial future, financial peace. Okay. Are you going to bed stressed at night because you can't pay your bills? And then the sixth is relationships, and that's your community. So that's personal and professional relationships that aren't romantic. Who are the people that are around you? What are your relationships like at work? Do you have a lot of tension? Do you have good camaraderie? Now, when we can rate those 6 pillars, we can see what our overall life and our overall success looks like. Okay, so I want every single person to rate those 6 pillars 1 through 10. 10 being thriving, amazing, 1 being, I need some help. Okay, so the workbook breaks it all down, and then you can see what your percentage is. It gives you like an outcome, a percentage, and then it helps you take action steps. Again, I'll give it to you guys for free, but that's where we need to start.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So I'll take my own score. I was taking notes, so thank you.
You're welcome.
So I know they're gonna hopefully go to your workbook and try all this. So that would be something for them to take with them. But how do you recommend for them to start feeling beautiful and confident and empowered within themselves first today, like right now? Like maybe there's a thought that they can think that they can go throughout their day with, or something that they can always come back to. Is there any?
Yeah, no, I hear you. So I'm not a big fan of quick tips because they don't work for confidence.
Okay.
Because confidence is a deep thing and it takes a lot of work, so I'm not one to say, if you do this, you're going to feel amazing right now, because it's not sustainable.
Okay.
But what I will say is this: the thoughts that you have in your mind and the words that you say, they do affect you. They affect you a lot. Okay. And if they're bad or if they're negative, then that's the effect it's going to have on you. So one thing that I use all the time, and I still use it to this day, is I actually have a mantra in my book, my journal. okay? And I read it every morning, okay? I read it every morning, but I also say it out loud, because when you say it out loud, it has more power to your ears, and now you're putting it out into the universe,
Okay.
right? So it's things like success, money, career, love, they are here for me. I do have infinite potential. Like, it's just, I am statements, and this will happen. Okay, I am, and this will happen. And I have a mantra that I read every single morning. But the other thing that I do is put myself together every day. Every day. There's something about waking up in the morning and putting on your favorite outfit, putting on jewelry, putting yourself together and getting ready for the day, because you owe it to yourself.
Yes, yes, yes. That's true too. That's very true. Sometimes, like, of course, when we get like new socks or new underwear, it makes us feel good just because it's comfy. You feel like you're ready to take on the day. But you're right. Like during quarantine, I know a lot of people maybe stayed in their pajamas all day, but it does elevate your mood when you like put some lipstick on or take a shower and put on some nice, a nice top and comfy jeans. So
yes, yeah. So definitely, I would say start with the mantra, say it out loud every morning in the mirror, and then like put yourself together every day. I don't care how hard it is. Get up, find your outfit, put on the jewelry, and put yourself together and just show up. Even if you're sitting at home, just show up. I know you have another incredible guest that's coming on a little bit later. She's going to talk more about confidence, and she has some great tools as well. But that's what I would say right now. The 6 pillars, and then the 2 external is the mantra and showing up.
Okay, great. That's so awesome and amazing. Thank you very much for being honest with us too, that confidence is not something that's instant, that it takes work every day. And it's actively working on ourselves and motivating ourselves. So being our own cheerleader, I think that's what I'm taking away.
Absolutely.
Yes, so thank you, Netta, for your time today. And I hope everyone got tips on how to acknowledge your own worth and start to feel beautiful from the inside out so that you can step into the most confident and empowered version of yourself. So thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for your time today. And look out for her free gift. We'll be posting it in so a link somewhere for you to click on and take advantage of the 6 pillars that Netta was talking about today. So Thank you, Netta.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.